Luiii, congratulations on your new film, Uppercut.
Thanks. Nice to meet you.
No, it's a pleasure to meet you too, and thank you for uh, for doing this wherever you are in the world. I want to say where you at in Germany right now?
I'm still in Berlin, but I will be in LA on Sunday. Yeah.
Oh wow, terrific. So this is such a fascinating, film. I love the dialogue scenes with Ving Rhames with between you and him throughout this entire film. But tell us what initially drew you that you wanted to be part of Uppercut.
So this is a bit of a longer story because we had a tiny German movie here, and this is basically the US adaptation of this German film. So I was a natural part of it already, and I'm also a producer on this project. So I know the whole process. I know the whole development, and I just love the story, and I wanted to tell it to people. So yes, it's a hard project for me.
So what's the difference between this German project and the American project to you?
The German project was had only this one time layer. It was really tiny, just the chamber play part, and then my character, she becomes a bit older. We have, of course, a total different relationship when you work with someone like Ving Rhames and his character, and then we have a white German girl meeting a white African American guy. It's a total different relationship, and so it was, yeah, for me important to not like reshoot the movie and to tell the same story again, but to do it from a new perspective with just as a new project. And this was, I think, the interesting part of it.
I find that interesting. Yeah, you said it's not a reshoot, but it has some similarities and some differences. Was that easy for you, or was it a challenge to do a film like this again?
It was actually pretty easy because, like I just said, it was still a total different relationship, and so I couldn't like, or I didn't try to recall something from what I've done before. It was like a new set, a new encounter with Ving, and this made it easy for me to create something totally new and not trying to create something I've already done, which in my perspective wouldn't been interesting at all.
Now, because of one version was in German and the other version is in American, I'm curious as an actress, and your English is very good. What how did you handle your mindset? Because I know, being native German was probably easy, but to do this in American, that's an entirely different mindset.
For sure, but I think it was important for me that I'm not trying to pretend an American girl, but I still played a German girl living in New York City, and so um, I didn't have to think about my accent or stuff. So it was like a natural thing to just speak how I speak, to speak English how I speak English, and so I didn't have to think about it. That was really, really important for me.
Now, what do you love about playing your character Toni in these films?
I love about her that she is really fighting for what she wants, and she doesn't take a no for a no, but she's still trying to get it. And I know that she sometimes can be over the top, that she is sometimes annoying, that she is quirky, but she has to. And I love this kind of attitude of hers. And I mean, yeah, I think it's an important story to tell, especially for young women, that it's worth fighting for. I mean, even she's a privileged girl. Often in boxing movies, we have characters in the center of the story that coming from the streets or are not that privileged as she is, but she's still struggling with her own problems in her own little world. And I think this is what my generation now is dealing with. They don't have, might not have these huge problems, but they're still struggling where they want to go, what they want to do, where their purpose is. And I think that's why her story is so strong to give a voice to these young women that it's worth fighting for their dreams. And if it's not working this way, maybe it's working that way. And yes, I think this is what I want to have people experience once they see the movie.
Now, I think one of the greatest things about you playing Tony is that technically you're playing two different Tonys because it's eight years apart. How did you get in the mindset of Tony in the past and Tony in the future?
So I would say the younger Toni is more close to myself than the older Toni is because she is a young mother and a manager, and this was something new for me. I've never played, for example, a mother before, so this was really interesting to discover. But I think I'm still also like on this project. I'm also a producer, so I know all this business affairs and stuff too. And I think this made it easy for me because I also have these two Tonys within me, like this young, wild and quirky Toni, but then also to be able to, okay, but now this is business and I'm switching into this. And so it was interesting to find these parallel lines to my life. And then to, I mean, we had also a bit of a time difference between shooting these layers, and so I could start to explore the older Toni really from scratch new, which was great.
Now, of course, we can't forget to ask and for you to talk about Ving Rhames. Tell us about acting alongside with him.
I mean, what you just said, it's been an amazing privilege and honor to work with an icon like Ving Rhames, who plays side by side Tom Cruise, worked with Tom like Cranston and who not. And so, of course, before I first met him, I was quite nervous and like, okay, how is he going to approach me and this whole thing? But he was so nice and so curious, not only about me, but the whole movie and the whole story. And he made it quite easy for me to work with him. And I think quite from the beginning, we had this a natural connection and curiosity about each other. And this kind of, okay, I'm playing a young German girl who's coming to New York, who want to get trained by a legend. And in real life, I was also this young German girl coming to the US who want to be eye to eye with this icon, Ving Rhames. And so there we had like this natural mirror to our story. And I think this made it easy for us really to dive into the story and to explore our relationship. And it was really a great experience to work with him.
I'm curious. Did you do any training? Did you know any boxing before taking on these projects?
I did. I worked with Regina Halmich. She is a former world champion here in Germany, and she gave me some intense boxing lessons. Yeah, it was. I had a good preparation for this one for sure.
Most excellent. Well, Louis, let me ask this very last question is did you wish that you had more boxing, like actual physical boxing scenes, like actually to spar somebody in a film like this? Maybe perhaps down the road you would use this experience for another film.
Um, Maybe I think I know where your question is leading. I think this for our movie, it was not important to have these scenes because our movie is more about the relationship between Toni and Elliott, and boxing is the platform where these two people meet. I think maybe in if we would more put into focus the time between when they meet and 8 years later, I think maybe we would have experienced her really get into boxing and before she becomes the manager. But I do not personally miss this part. But would I do it in another movie? Maybe.
Well, you know what? We can never say never, and maybe is the right answer. So, Louis, thank you very much for speaking to us about Uppercut. It's a very enjoyable movie. Everyone should check it out. Thank you very much.
You're really welcome. Thank you so much.